Okay, I should be live now. Everything looks good. So, welcome if anybody is watching this stream right now. Because I haven't recorded anything of the creation process of my Siren remix, I decided to like kind of test this live streaming setup what I've been troubleshooting for quite a while now, and things are looking all right now. Maybe I still need to get another webcam, but yeah, let's jump into it. It probably won't be too long of a video, but it's good enough for me to test this streaming setup if the computer can handle it, if the new internet can handle live streaming. So let's do it. This is my remix of Siren, which just came out yesterday. I hope you all like it, and yeah, let's dive into it. I think we should start with the drop parts, because like in the breakdowns nothing too special is happening, and there's no additional instruments in the breakdown compared to the drops. So the kick drum consists of 2 layers. So one is for the low end and one is for the high end. This is only for the clicks. I have these 2 synths. I'm gonna unfreeze them. So this was my main idea when I started this remix, and this is what I first came up with. I would say I tried to do something in the style of like the recent Medusa tracks. I'm not sure if I quite have the same effect with this remix, but he also sometimes just has these synths in the background, and I just thought that this is how I should start with this track, to have something similar to that vibe. Now obviously that's the same thing that inspired this bass line. It's kind of this piece of your heart emulation type of bass. Alright, so this is a very simple sound design wise. It's just a detuned waveform with like a little bit of envelope shaping, and then I have, I'm not even sure what's the other layer. Oh, okay, it's from Diva. It's probably not even too audible. It's really just to give the sound an additional, like more analog-esque shape. And there's a sub-layer to give it a very defined low end. This is also from Siren. Alright, these are also worth maybe talking about. So these are just brass stabs, but when I listen to the track, and probably when you are listening to the track, it's not really standing out. But if I were to remove these sounds, it would really create an empty space, and it's because of how they fill up the stereo space. So let me just play this section. And without the vocals it would be better, yeah. If I could actually play it, probably not gonna happen, I think. Poor MacBook is not designed to run an instance of Logic and live stream at the same time. But yeah. So the whole point is to enhance the bassline with these brass stabs. It's so the stabs are from Nexus originally. I just bounced them out into audio files to have control of these, because the attack of these brass sounds were too sharp. I decided to like fade them in a little bit. Maybe now it will let us. Okay, so I cannot show the difference, but trust me, it's there. When you listen, if I wouldn't put this in, the bass line wouldn't have been as impactful as it is. So vocal processing, maybe that's also worth talking about a little. To save some CPU, I'm gonna delete all these from the project for the time being. What I already showed. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And these things. Yes. Okay, hopefully we have a little bit more CPU to work with right now. So it's not a magic chain because there wasn't too much magic required. It's a very high quality a cappella to begin with. What I always start out with is the LA2A from the UAD plugins. It's one of my favorite plugins to start a chain with whenever I'm working with vocals. It's just shaping it like like nothing else really. I have a neutron equalizer on here. It's not doing much, a little bit of high enhancement. I have a reverb, this serum FX I use for the delay mostly, and a little bit of dimension applied. This is how it sounds so far. And this is a plugin I just recently started using more on these, especially on vocal tracks as well, and after the reverb and the delay, because I kind of crank up this input knob and compensate with the output, how much I have to obviously. And what this does is it brings, so when the vocal has these pauses in between, it brings up the delays and the reverbs, so there's never an empty space. It sounds quite good. So here, for example, so here it won't be that much audible, maybe here. So yeah, hopefully you can hear what I'm talking about here. And just a little bit of de-sync using the Pro MB. Yeah, this EQ probably wasn't required. Sometimes I tend to overdo things. So usually on vocals, this is just a mess. It's probably not the greatest idea. I mean, if it sounds good, it sounds good, but yeah. And I have an automated delay on this channel for some reason. I'm not sure how it's working and where. Yeah, also for to bring up even these pauses even more, to feel them out. And then a sidechain, because this is the drop part what I'm showing right now, and it's playing together with the kick, so it's important to not clash. But other than this, maybe what's this? Oh no, this is also the same thing, just looped. Maybe it's the reverb tail exported into an audio file, and then I looped that. I can't even remember, honestly. Yeah, so let's go back to the synths, maybe. So this is also another layer what I use. Well, not a lot, but it's just without this, the bass line would be a little bit too monotone, I guess. So this really just gives the track some movement. This constant 16th notes. Because I deleted a bunch of channels already, it won't be. I can show you how it would sound together, but. But like this is it, what I'm talking about here. And I also have these chords here, which are, these are not even chords, just a simple melody. I don't know why I named it like this. This plays the same melody throughout the whole track, and this is really just another layer to give it a little bit more space, a little bit to widen the track a little bit more. What can I talk about here more? Maybe like the yeah. So the groove pattern also pretty standard. My overall intention with it was to also to help the kind of smooth and kind of to, well, not monotone, but like not too exciting bass line, to give it a little bit more movement to also to help. This is the same thing that I had with this other synth I showed you, which played this constant 16th. It's the same principle. Let me see if there's anything else worth talking about. Yeah, so I have these other layers coming in the second part of the drop, at least in the first half. Here it's this one's already starting. This is just enhancing the clap. This first. So let me play it with the kick, because it's gonna make more sense like this. I have this very subtle arpeggio in the background, and I also have this violin, which I use in almost every production I do nowadays, as also like this is to enhance the high end a little more. Overall, processing wise on the whole track, it's very often I use the same chain almost every time. At least on these more melodic type of tracks, I started with a C4 to so this is basically helping me mix the track. This is just what it is. It's I could level all the individual sounds to make up for the loss of this plugin, but I choose to use this because it's, I don't know, I just kind of like how it shapes these sounds, and it's also nice, like I can set these custom attack and release times on it, so I use it a lot. And I most of the time I start with this in my master/output chain. The second plugin here is an imager, because the low end was a little bit too wide. I decided to cut back on that, but everything else I enhanced just a little bit more. It's maybe on the high end is, you can argue if it's a little bit too much, but I felt that this is what was working here. I have yet another compressor and a little bit of EQ usage to boost the high end. Not much I can talk about. This is also another UAD plugin. It comes with any Apollo you buy, so it's one of the basic plugins. But the compressor is really good. So I maybe it's, I'm not 100% sure if it's like intended to use on the master bus, but I sometimes do. I have an EQ. It's only to, either I have this automated, I'm not sure. Yeah, so I have this automated because the breakdowns were a little bit too quiet compared to the drops, so I enhanced everything with a volume automation just before the limiter. And here the limiter is set to this punchy setting, which I don't use this too often. It might have been a mistake. Now that I look at it, I didn't even notice. So I usually use it on a transparent setting, like this modest attack, and a kind of a short release, but it's also not, this would be short, but like I keep it around 150, 120. It's always in between. And linking is, it's always worth playing around a little, but most of the time I prefer it to be at 50-50 with both. Sometimes it works to have these all the way up, and sometimes it works to have all them all the way down. Depends on the style of the track that I'm producing at that given moment. I also have true pink limiting enabled because this is how so I don't submit this track to another mastering engineer or to anyone else. I finalize this for myself, so I don't want anyone have to deal with sudden peaks on different sound systems. Now these plugins are not doing anything, but these are helping me while I'm producing a track. This is a loudness meter, which just shows me how loud the track is while I'm making it. So even without the bass line, I'm averaging a good number, so I'm pretty sure this was loud enough. And this what this shows me is if there's like too much bass going on in the track or like too little mid-range. It's also like what I like to do is sometimes I just load up some tracks into either Logic or Ableton, load up this plugin and see some tracks that I like, how they sound, and just check this how this waveform looks like on these tracks. So next time I can try to imitate that type of sound. But usually it's very rare that something is like very much out of these ranges, because this just gives you such a good approximate of how you should mix your track. And yeah, so I can highly recommend using this plugin. This is also from Isotope. So let me show it from here. Isotope and Tonal Balance Control is its name. Yeah. I think this is all I can talk about this project. Sadly, I cannot upload this because it's contracted, but yeah. So as I see it right now, there's no dropped frames. Hopefully the microphone was working. I'll find out if it wasn't. So if anyone was watching this, thanks for watching. If you're watching this later, also thanks for watching. See you next time.